turbulent global scenario requires our countries to strengthen and deepen our strategic dialogue. I hosted the presidency of the G20 in Prime Minister Modi in 2024. I've received the presidency from him, and this year India received from Brazil the presidency of BRICS. This presidency flow between our countries is extremely beneficial to the interests of the global South. India and Brazil are crucial voices at the UN, at the WTO and G20. We are partners in building a multilateral governance which is more just, peaceful, governed by international law. Prime Minister Modi and I talked at length about how we can persevere the paths to peace. There is no possibility of having a fair, sustainable development in a conflicted world. As stated by Prime Minister Modi at the BRICS summit in Rio de Janeiro, it is impossible for us to run a 21st century software in old typewriters from the 20th century. We emphasize our commitment with the UN reform, particularly of the Security Council, so that it may represent the interests from Global South and that have Brazil and India as natural candidates. Here it is important to remind the Indian and Brazilian press that for over 20 years, Brazil, India, Japan and Germany set up a group called G4, where we defend the increase of the UN Security Council, which is something that hasn't happened until now, but will definitely happen soon, because the UN needs more representation. The UN needs to have the force, the strength to interfere in the conflicts that we see throughout the world today. And if it is, a body that doesn't operate, this will not survive. So we're going to continue to fight for the UN to be more representative with more countries throughout the world and more, Brazil and India as members of the Permanent Security Council. Increasing the categories of permanent and non-permanent members is an essential condition to provide legitimacy and efficacy to global governance amidst so many challenges. We support the efforts for the end of the war in the Ukraine. It is also urgent, important to alleviate the suffering of the Palestinian people. Brazil has really repudiated the attacks in Kashmir. We know that terrorism is not associated to any religion or nationality. Also, it cannot be confused as public security challenges that many countries face. These are different phenomena, and that should not be used as an excuse for intervention at the margin of international law. I reaffirm to Prime Minister Modi that Brazil is committed to keeping South America as a zone of peace. After all, the only wars that humanity should engage in is the wars against hunger, poverty, and environmental degradation. This state visit provides a new chapter for a long journey of bilateral cooperation between Brazil and India. My dear friend Modi, I would like to finish by saying to you, sir, that I am completely sure that the eyes of Brazil towards India is one of very hopeful eyes. In India, we have a country of a lot of similarities. Despite the difference in the number of inhabitants, we have very similar problems. Our scientific and technological knowledge, they are close. And if we work together, we are going to strengthen Brazil-India bilateral relation. We're going to strengthen our relation with the Mercosur, and we're going to strengthen the global South so that we never, ever again are faced with a Cold War between, two big superpowers. Thank you very much.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, we conclude this press statement. Thank you very much for your presence.